Episode 408. The next segment is the final challenge match of the day. This was supposed to be the main event, deliberately arranged by the organizers, but even they didn't anticipate that this rookie challenge would steal the show. Their planned spectacle was unlikely to achieve the intended effect. The host was Team Samsara, and the final match they arranged featured one of their own rookies, challenging their ace player, Joe Sakai. Samsara would never sacrifice Joe Sakai to prop up their rookie. Their original intent for this match was to use the rookie as a foil, to make Joe Sakai shine all the brighter. With his own teammates setting him up, Joe Sakai naturally found it easier to put on a more dazzling and spectacular performance than anyone else. But Samsara hadn't anticipated that this year's batch of rookies would be so aggressive, stirring up such a huge commotion. For the rookie challenge, the organizers only knew the list of participating rookies in advance. As for who the rookies would challenge, that was all decided on the spot with a live nomination. They just assumed it would be like any other year, a friendly, harmonious match between the rookies and the veterans, and that would be that. Naturally, their own prearranged double act would steal the show. As a result, not a single contestant in this rookie challenge treated it as a mere show. They were all playing for keeps. The veterans weren't about to be left behind, turning the whole thing into a full-blown battle for supremacy between the old guard and the new. This kind of spectacle far outshines the little double act Samsara had arranged for themselves. In hindsight, they should have scheduled this match as the opening act. Riding the wave of novelty for the new projection tech, a dazzling and spectacular fight could have at least grabbed some attention and left a stronger impression. The moment the challenge list was announced, the reaction from the crowd was palpably flat. Clearly, after the massive high of Sun Xiang versus Han Wenqing, the audience had no real expectations for this match. Samsara was frustrated, but there was nothing they could do. They had to stick to the original plan. The rookie and Joe Sakai took the stage, gave their speeches, and then the match began. The double act was still a spectacular and entertaining performance. After all, this was Samsara's home turf, and the crowd's reaction was fairly enthusiastic. But it was just enthusiastic. If you were looking for real passion, it fell far short. Samsara was utterly frustrated. Their meticulously planned double act had, in their own eyes, completely bombed. The final match concluded. The audience's applause sounded mechanical, clearly not born of genuine joy, but merely a formality of politeness. Samsara's ace player, Joe Sakai, seemed completely unfazed by it all. As soon as the match was over, he waved to the audience, said thank you, and swiftly left the arena. They'd been hyping him up since the opening show, aiming to make him the brightest star of the night. In the end, it looked more like a filler act in the garbage time after midnight on the Spring Festival Gala. Everyone at Samsara, from top to bottom, let out a sigh of disappointment. While this rookie challenge was undoubtedly the most spectacular and successful in the tournament's history, the fact that their own player failed to leave a mark in such a brilliant event only deepened Samsara's frustration. With the rookie challenge concluded, the main events for the first day of the All-Star weekend were essentially over. They were all one-on-one matches. While each bout wasn't particularly long, with all the transitions, speeches, and the opening show, the event had already been running for nearly 2 hours. After that came a holographic projection show, along with some prize draws and other activities. In previous years, a lot of the audience would have already left during this kind of filler time. But this year, with the novelty of the holographic projection technology, many fans weren't ready to leave just yet. They stayed, soaking in every last bit of the spectacle. The finale dragged on for another half hour before the first day of the All-Star festivities was finally declared over. The half hour of dead time dragged on. Security personnel were already in position to manage the exit flow. The arena lights gradually brightened to their full intensity, and the audience began to rise and file out. Yet some die-hard fans kept looking around, hoping to catch a glimpse of their favorite players now that they were here in person. But the organizers had a plan for this. The pro players area had its own separate exit, keeping them well away from the general crowd. When the lights came up, the audience looked over at the pro players' seats, but they were already long gone. The massive crowd shuffled out of the venue at a snail's pace, the whole process taking nearly another half hour. Everyone was packed in tight, sweat beading on every brow. Stepping outside was an immediate relief. Under the streetlights, you could see spectators everywhere, panting heavily and exhaling plumes of white breath. More of the local audience, clearly seasoned veterans of live matches, didn't even pause once they were outside. They immediately made a beeline for the roadside, while some enterprising cabbies had anticipated the crowd and were already waiting in the area. The overall demand far outstripped the supply, leaving the roadside in a state of chaotic uproar. Being Glory fans clearly didn't make them any more cooperative or friendly. They fought over cabs with fierce intensity. This kind of scene wasn't unfamiliar to the three of them. Well, Yeshu, of course, doesn't count. As for Chen Guo and Tang Rou, their internet cafe was right across from Excellent Era's home stadium. They'd seen this exact scene plenty of times whenever Excellent Era had a home game, but experiencing it firsthand was a first for the three of them. In the end, it took another half hour of hassle before they finally managed to hail a taxi and get back to their hotel. All three of them were exhausted and starving. Their last proper meal had been on the plane. After landing in S-City, they'd gone straight to the hotel, barely had time to settle in, and then rushed off to the match. It had been a rushed journey. They hadn't prepared any snacks for the match. Their focus entirely on the game, then on queuing to leave, and finally on waiting for a ride. They hadn't felt it at the time, but now that they'd reached their destination, their stomachs were growling. They didn't hesitate and made a beeline for the restaurant. They ordered a few things, and all three of their gazes were drawn to the large electronic screen in the restaurant, which was playing a program. The esports industry is booming, and the Glory Alliance is at the forefront. With its massive player base and excellent grassroots support, hosting the Glory All-Star Weekend has naturally become the premier event in S-City right now. The giant screen was now showing highlights from the first day of the All-Star Weekend, the opening show, and one thrilling rookie challenge match after another. Having just witnessed it all live, watching it again on TV was a different experience entirely. The excitement was distilled, the spectacle even more intense. Chen Guo remained excited, calling out to the other two to come watch whenever something spectacular happened. The only moment of silence came when Han Wenqing defeated Sun Sheng. While this was the night's climax, for Chen Guo, it was clearly an unpleasant one.